I feel great. I feel really good.
Mr. President, congratulations. I have to ask, would you endorse Tom Emmer for Speaker? He hasn't historically been your biggest fan, but he is the most likely candidate right now.
Well, I think he's my biggest fan now because he called me yesterday and he told me I'm your biggest fan. So I don't know about that. Well, we're looking at a lot of people, and, you know, I'm sort of trying to stay out of that as much as possible, but they'll get it straightened out. But no, I've always gotten along with him, and I get along with all of them, really. A lot of good people. You have a lot of great people.
Mr. President, how important is it to keep New Hampshire the first primary?
Say it, Brian.
How important is it to keep New Hampshire the first primary? I know you've said the Democrats don't want that.
No, they don't want that. The Democrats do not want to keep New Hampshire in this position, and I did, and we did that together. I made that promise very early on, and I said, New Hampshire, staying where you are. And a lot of people want to replace New Hampshire, move it toward the back of the pack, and I said, that's not happening. There's an incredible history, there's an incredible feeling about New Hampshire in politics, right? And I think it's very important, and I said the same thing about Iowa. I think keeping the two of you, and then we go to South Carolina. Now, the Democrats changed that order, as you know, and I think it's not a good thing for them. I think it's not a very good thing at all, but I told New Hampshire, you're going to stay right where you are, and we came through with that promise, right?
Well, in that regard, Mr. President, you are making New Hampshire presidential primary history today because you are the first candidate who has served as president to actually come back to New Hampshire and file to run again.
Well, that's
and
an
I think
honor.
if you see your
picture right up there.
Oh, yeah.
It was up there from when you were here 8 years ago.
Yeah, I'm younger now, I think. Younger now.
Mr. President, did you speak to Mr. Emmer? Did you speak with
I did. I spoke to Mr. Emmer. I spoke to a lot of congressmen that called me up, and they all called asking for support. And of course, I have to hold it for a while. I have a lot of friends that are looking at it right now. As you know, it's a big list. Jim is a fantastic guy, and who knows what happens there, but Jim is just Jim Jordan, fantastic person. And so we'll see what happens. You have a lot of people running. You have a lot of good talent, a lot of very good people running.
look back on this process? Is it worthwhile what's happened in the House?
Well, it's a lot of tumult. There's no question about that, but we'll see what happens. We're going to see what happens.
Mr. President,
Who's your chief rival in New Hampshire? Is it DeSantis or Haley?
I think DeSantis is really going down. It looks like I just looked at a poll that came out, and he was in third place. And he's another one where, as I call him, Ron DeSanctimonious, he was in fifth place. So bad things are happening, but we keep going up. And I looked at one where it's 64, and the second person is at 8. So between him and a few others, I guess a few others, but New Hampshire seems to be a little bit different in that regard, but he's looking like he's going to be in third place, maybe even fourth place.
Mr. President, you know your voters very well. You know your voters well, and they are concerned when they look at what they see in the House, in the Hill, in the chaos.
Yeah.
What is your message to
Well, I think
Republicans
it's going to
right
get
now?
solved, and when it does, it'll be a beautiful thing, and it'll teach a lot of people about democracy. You know, that happened once before. It's very tough with the 4 votes, you know, with a 4-vote spread, but something's going to happen. It'll be positive. It'll end up working well. I'm staying above it. I have to right now, but I've spoken to just about all the candidates. There are quite a few of them, and they're terrific people. You know, that 4 threshold is very tough. It's a very tough thing, no matter who it is. I said there's only one person that can do it all the way. You know who that is? Jesus Christ. If Jesus came down and said, I want to be Speaker, he would do it. Other than that, I haven't seen anybody that can guarantee it. But at some point, I think we're going to have somebody pretty soon. Other than that, I haven't seen anybody that can guarantee it. But at some point, I think we're going to have somebody pretty soon.
Mr. President, you said Sidney Powell wasn't your attorney. Are you concerned that you won't be covered by attorney-client privilege?
No, not at all. We did nothing wrong. We did nothing wrong. This is all Biden. Indictments and impeachments. This is all about Biden. He can't do anything right. The only thing they know how to do is cheat on elections and election fraud. This is all Biden stuff. All of these indictments that you see. I was never indicted. Practically never heard the word. It wasn't a word that registered. And this was all done. This is dirty politics. This is third world country. This is banana republic, they call it. This has only happened, never happened here. Never happened here. Why? Because I protest an election, you get indicted? It's ridiculous. You look at the document case. I'm covered by the Presidential Records Act. Biden isn't. And now it's turning out that Biden's got a real problem with those documents, a real problem. We did nothing wrong, he did. But when you look at the kind of thing, think of it, because I protested an election, and I'm, by the way, 100% right about that. In fact, we're going to be releasing some numbers next week that will make your head spin. But think of that. You get indicted because you protested an election. You know how many people, Democrats, protested the election of 2016? A lot of people, a lot more people than you even have in this room. Everybody in Congress, all the Democrats protested, and they don't get indicted and they don't get put in jail. These people are dirty players, and they go after their political opponents. Never happened before, and it's a two-way street. You know, that's a two-way street. Now it can happen the other way also, and that's a sad moment for our country. Thank you all very much. What a great honor to be with you.
Mr. President,
Thank
this
you.
is the notice to voters. We ask every candidate to just write a message to the New Hampshire voters and
Okay.
get this out of your way.
Secretary, keep up the good work.
Mr. Secretary, do you pay in cash or check?
Be paid in check, bank check.
We don't take cash in New Hampshire.
I'll say a simple message. Vote for Trump and solve your problems. That's the only way. That way you can do a lot of messages. Vote for Trump and solve your problems. As an example, your energy costs in New Hampshire are the highest in the country, single highest place in the country, and we'll cut them down to less than half. It'll be so quick and so easy. What they've done to New England, is incredible. You know, if you built a pipeline through a very poor section of New York State, very poor section where they want it so badly, they want it to have because of jobs, your numbers would come down in half as soon as that opened, or before it opened, actually. And yet they never got it approved. And we had it just about approved, and then we had a rigged election, so that was the end of that. But we had it just about approved. What happened to your energy costs in New Hampshire under Biden is just incredible. Then you look at your food costs, you look at everything else. It'll all come down. We're going to bring the inflation rate. Actually, it's going to go negative for a while because we got to get it down. It's so high right now that when they say, oh, it only went up 5% or 6% last year, you add that to what it's gone up over the last 3 years, it's incredible. Bacon, I understand, went up 5 times. Food has gone up worse than energy. We'll get it all straightened out, and we'll get it done quickly. We'll get it done quickly. Why don't you hold that pen, and
Very good. Thank
it's
you.
yours, and thank you very much.
Okay, why don't you follow us into the
Sure,
other
I
office
like
here?
that. Thank you all very much. Great honor. Thank you, Brian.
Thank you,
Press.
Thank you. Thank you.
This way.
Who are you with?
NBC News.
Oh, good. Whoa. Well, that's nicer than most questions from NBC.
We'll be seeing you more often.
That might mean the end of your job, you know.
All right, guys, this way, this way.